Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Africa Technology Authors and Speakers Forum. We've been interviewing amazing people who are conference organizers, professional speakers, writers, and editors. And the aim of this forum is to help people, especially young African people, who want to become more involved with conferences or writing for newspapers and magazines, to learn from the people that I interview, because we definitely need more African voices, and particularly African female voices in our technology sector. Today with me is a wonderful guy, all the way from Scotland, Sydney. We've collaborated many times before. He's responsible for the Africa Chatbot and Conversational AI Summit, and also the soon up-and-coming European Chatbot and Conversational AI Summit. Very relevant, the work that he's doing. The events he's hosted here in South Africa, and the one, I think it was last year, where I was involved, was so well arranged. Sydney, you're doing great work. Welcome to the forum. Maybe kick it off and just to briefly tell the audience a little bit about yourself and also how you got into doing the stuff that you're doing.
Hi, Johan. Thank you so much for having me today. And also, I really appreciate you putting all this together. So, my name is Sydney Eneremadu. So, I'm a conversational designer. That's what I do. So, before I jump into the way of conversational AI, I work in legal tech as a legal engineer, where we focus on document automation, document negotiation, and also a bit of mobile forensics as well. So, along the process, I transited to conversational AI. That is how the African Chatbot and Conversational AI Summit, and also the European Chatbot and Conversational AI Summit was born. So this is a 2-day event that we run in the globe. So this one happened between the Europe and also in the Africa, where we try to create a big platform driving AI innovations and also collaborations as well, and also building a conversational and generative AI ecosystem in all these regions. Trying to bring companies who design all these agents and also companies who want to learn how to apply this agent for them to come to the event. So currently now we are the Chatbot Africa is going to be in September 18th, while the European Chatbot is going to be here in March, where we bring people from the government, people from also public and also officials, and people from the big companies for them to come to share the use cases and also any regulations, Also, we're trying to make sure that we bring the government as well inside to share the roadmap they have in our event. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, I'm glad you're here, Sydney. What you're doing is so important, especially here in Africa. As you know, the different languages, I read somewhere up to 3,000 languages and dialects, very underserved when it comes to global chat and conversational AI platforms. So it's a wonderful thing that you get the community together, well, both in Europe, but especially in Africa. Let's think about how do we build this technology that serves the people in Africa. If we think of education, of healthcare, of commerce, of banking. So you and your team have been doing wonderful work, Sydney. Tell us about technology conferences. I mean, as an organizer, it is a hell of a lot of work and a lot of things can go wrong. But, when you set up an event like this, you start 6 months, 3 months ahead of time. And when it comes to speakers in particular, what are some of the challenges that you've had over the last few years, Sydney?
So, first of all, I will tell you about the tech event organizers. I think we're going to dive into Africa, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, as a conference organizer, right, I believe that we play a very big role, in shaping the conversation and also the narrative in the tech industry in Africa. So, we are essentially the people who created the thought leaders, right? Who bring together the right mix of speakers, topics, and also the discussions that reflect both current trends and also the future possibilities. So by selecting the speakers, structuring agenda, and also fostering diverse participation will influence which ideas get attraction and also which challenges get addressed. So at the African Chatbot and Conversational AI Summit, for instance, we focus on not just the latest trends, not just the latest technologies, but also on a responsible AI, bias mitigation, and also reward applications. Our role extend beyond the event itself. So we do our best to drive long-term conversation and shape policies, investment, and innovations in the industry in Africa as well. That is how we structure as an event organizer, try to bring all these people together in one place.
Mm. And do you find, Sydney, especially here in Africa and South Africa, that people are aware of how important this topic is? And is it a struggle to get corporate event sponsors because they should fall over their feet to sponsor these events? My feeling is people are still a bit unaware of how important it is. What's your view on that?
So actually, in Africa, it's very difficult to get partners. I think what we are seeing is that the AI or tech industry event is being in Africa is not moving so fast. So, from my own understanding, is that most of the partners we got that support us in Africa are mostly companies that are based here in Europe but have a footprint in Africa, in South Africa, right? Or they have a kind of a third parties who support them. So what we are trying to be, is an ecosystem, right? So everything starts gradually. So when you plan the event and you be known in the community of what you are doing, I believe that most of these companies will support. But as for now, the clarity is that we are doing our best to push on, but to get all these companies support us to bring the communities together, bring everyone together. They need to. We need to have a way that they will be able to support us, so that we can be able to deliver this to the communities in Africa as well.
Mm. And Sydney, what I also want to ask you, when you are planning a conference and you're looking for speakers, obviously sometimes you try and use speakers from your previous events because they did well, the audience liked them. But when you look for new speakers, especially with these tech conferences, what are the key things that you're looking for in a good speaker, especially somebody that you don't really know, haven't met yet before?
Thank you so much for asking this. I think this is where we have quite a lot of time with the team to make some research. So when selecting speakers for a tech conference, we focus on several key factors that to ensure a dynamic and also insightful and forward thinking agenda as well. So first thing we do is that we look for expertise and relevance, right? We make a research on LinkedIn first, speakers who are deeply engaged in the field and can also provide fresh insights, whether they are industry leaders or they are researchers or also they are startup innovators. That is what we look into. So beyond the expertise that we look into, we also focus on practical experience, and real-world applications are crucial when we are picking up the speakers. So we call for speakers, and then we send out the link to everyone to apply. And also we try to make sure that we collect the most important thing from what they want to deliver to the audience. And because we know our audience, we're trying to focus and trying to get advisory board that will select speakers, and also we get the topics that are that's being used in the African continent. We get a topic that really Africans want to listen to. So we focus mainly on the attendees. Since we understand our attendees, we understand what they really want to hear, and also we focus that on the speakers as well. So another key factor also that we focus on is we look at diversity and perspectives as well, both in terms of background and viewpoints. So in any kind of tech events, the best conference which I've find out also reflect on a mix of voices, including underrepresented groups, like what you just said, women as well, and also emerging markets as well, different sectors within AI and conversational AI as well. So we actively seek out thought leaders who challenge the status quo, the status quo, right? And also bring unique insights to the table as well. So that's what we do. And also in the African Chatbot and Conversational AI Summit, we ensure our speakers drive not just innovations. That's one thing I try to do, but also discussions on responsible AI ethics and industrial impact as well. It's about creating a conference that inspires and also educate and foster collaboration within the attendees as well.
Fantastic. Sydney, you spoke about diversity. My experience is that even though I know many very smart, very experienced women, and African women in particular, a lot of them are not keen to speak at conferences, and it could be so when you arrange your conferences here in Africa and South Africa, do you also find there's a struggle to get enough female speakers? How can we get more of them? Just your general experience and comments on this topic.
Yes, I think to get the female speaker is an issue. There are so many of them who are working in big corporations, working on AI agents, conversational AI, and generative AI. Some of them shy away. When you write them for them to speak in the event, some of them shy away. We find this sometimes difficult to bring in this diversity in our event. So what we do is that to ensure diversity and also representative in our event, especially for the African voices and women, is a core priority in our event, mainly here in Europe as well. Also, when we come to Africa, we make sure that we give them a fee. When they apply, we encourage them. We reach out to them on LinkedIn, all these socials, try to talk to them. We take a proactive approach by actively reaching out to them and also reaching out to these groups, and also to partner with organizations that support women as well. That's another thing we look into. We look at organizations that support women as well in African tech environment. And also we provide a dedicated speaker track for diverse voices as well. Try to bring this inclusive to them. We also do our best to focus on equitable speaker count, So when we are taking the men, we also do our best to make sure that we include the women. So ensuring that our panels and keynotes reflect a mix of perspectives as well. So as I said, in the African Chatbot, it's very difficult to get women, African women, to speak. But what we do is that we encourage them to give them a relaxed environment for this. And also we believe that innovations drives when all voices are heard, right? Mm-hmm. And also we are committed to fostering an inclusive platform in our event where everyone can contribute meaningfully.
That's amazing, Sydney. What I want to ask you is, if they're young aspiring speakers listening to this and they are keen to speak at the event, they may be good speakers, they're probably quite skilled, but they've never really spoken, they don't have a wonderful profile, they don't have YouTube videos, they're unknown. And if they approach somebody like you and your team, what are the things they should do and not do to grab your attention, to consider them maybe as a speaker for even a short portion of the event?
So what we do is that when people are applied, right, that's another thing I do. I try to look at, check them. Sometimes from what you just said, they don't have any kind of profile on their LinkedIn. They have not have any kind of link to show me where they have speak before. So what I'm going to focus on is that when we have a call with the person, we find out what are the content this person is going to be delivered. So how important is it to the audience? The most important thing you should understand that as an event organizer, we know our audience. We understand what kind of content that our audience wants. So if I look at the topic, if it's a topic, and also look at the person, if the person who really want to grow, we do our best to nurture and also to support this young speaker to come on board to speak. we have had that experience before. Like if you look at it, the last event we had, there are some of them who have not been able to be on stage actually, but because they have a good content and topic they want to present, we give them the platform, try to showcase them, try to also to nurture them as well for them to speak in the event. So anyone who has an idea, who has an innovation, you have anything relating to Gen AI or conversational AI or AI agents that apply to speak, we do our best, even though you don't have any profile to showcase yourself. Our event is like a stage where we're trying to share to the community and also share to the attendees to show them what you have. As long as the content you are presenting merited our standard.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
A lot of conferences don't give those opportunities, Sydney, and I encourage us more to do that, to focus on it, even if it's so-called lightning talks, those 15-minute TED kind of talks.
Yeah.
Maybe for every event, get 2 young people to each give, even if it's on one of the side tracks, a short talk, because once they get going, it'll help them. But just before we end off, I'm very keen to know, we've got the European Summit coming up soon. You've got the African Chatbot Conversational Summit later in the year. What is new on the scene of chatbots? Because obviously it's Gen AI and it's DeepSeek and it's all this stuff happening. But what are some of the new streams and topics you anticipate to come out of the conferences this year?
Well, as you can see, as you know, somebody who is into AI, you know that the AI is always evolving. A lot of things are happening. Every day you wake up, there might be something that is going on and happening. So at the European Chatbot, for instance, we find out that there are so many topics that are trading right now, and also from what we can see, generative AI and also conversational AI agents. So these are the topics that we see that is trading right now. A lot of companies want to talk about it, and also we saw that a lot of companies also trying to showcase all these things. Everyone saying that they are the best who can offer this. So we look at this, and also if you come towards this Europe, we have mostly on the AI ethics and also bias mitigation. So to make sure that we're ensuring a fairness and also transparency in AI systems. So in our event, what we are looking ahead for is AI agents. That's what we're looking at now, which I think AI agents, and a lot of people are focusing on the autonomous systems, where will be a major topic that is going to coming up. So we have some few people in our agenda who wants to present this. So where they will be discussing around accountability and also regulations and also collaborations across AI systems, where AI-driven personalization and its cross-industry application can work together as well. So that's what we are doing. And also that is what we are trying to bring into Africa as well. When we are going to open our call for speakers, we are looking for a lot of people to apply who have an idea, who has a research they want to present, who has anything they want to share to the audience. That's what we are encouraging this year. As you can see, as I said, every day new things are coming up. But for now, this is what we focus on, the European Chatbot, which we are going to also take it down to Africa as well to run the event in September.
So exciting. AI agents is definitely the topic for this year.
Yeah.
Agentic AI. And it will be interesting to see how you speakers bring conversational AI chatbots to agents together. So I do think it's these events are worth looking out for. Sydney, I'm going to put the websites of all of both events, especially the Chatbot Africa one on the platform when we publish it. I know our time is short, but you've shared a lot of important things, especially for young people, for aspiring students. We look forward to your events, my good friend. Thank you for spending time with me, and looking forward to the events and future collaboration. I wish you very well.
So yes, thank you so much, Johan. Also, I want to say something again, and thank you for giving me the platform to share all this as well. And also, we are looking for these young speakers. We are coming to Africa. As I said, what we are doing is to build this ecosystem in Africa. we know that I always support what he always said. He said we are looking for made for Africa and used by Africa, right? So this is also the platform to share all these kind of things, to bring up the African to be able to share the research they have in our platform and also used by the Africa, because any solution, we understand how everything works within ourselves within us as well. So I will encourage everyone to, when we're going to release the call for speakers for Africa, I will encourage everyone to apply. Let's try to have a look at it and see how we can give them the platform for them to share their research and also the innovations they have. So, as I said, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here and also be seen in your podcast.